Yes, sir.
You
Yes,
know,
sir.
I have yet to have the chance to play the game. I don't know what the game plays like, but thankfully we have AnitMetaDoom here with us, who's gonna
Mm-hmm.
kind of give us some first impressions and see what his initial thoughts are, what stood out, what surprised him, whether the game is a strong start or maybe a weak. So, how you
Mm-hmm.
feeling, man? How you feeling on these first impressions, man? Before you even get into that, let me ask you, what were your expectations maybe rolling into the game?
Man, so I did not have any expectations, and that's because I am not real familiar with the Metrovania, game style and the 2D side scrollers. That's not something that I typically play. So honestly, I went in with no expectations. I didn't think it was going to be good. I didn't think it was going to be bad. I was just kind of ready to see what they were talking about. I was mostly excited because it expanded on Kratos' story. So I was really excited to hear about that.
Yeah, no, I hear you on that. So, we got a bit of gameplay here in the background. I'm gonna go ahead and hit the play on that while I
Mm-hmm.
ask you a couple more questions, because like that first 30 minutes, I feel like is really what makes or breaks a game. And like, I always remember, like The Witcher, the first fighting scene I couldn't get past for hours. I don't know if you had a similar experience. What was that first 30 minutes like loading this up?
Man, so the game kicks off with a boss fight actually against the Cyclops. So I'm a hardest mode type of guy. So I immediately I'm playing on the hardest mode, and it wasn't too terrible, that
Man,
first initial
a
fight
boss
because you
fight at
didn't
the start is kind of crazy though.
it is. With
Cyclops.
no abilities, no abilities.
Man,
But
yeah.
what I will say though, what I did like about the initial 30 minutes to an hour of the game is they immediately start giving you powers. So they immediately let you start feeling powerful and earning new abilities. So I did really appreciate that early in the game.
Okay. Because I was watching you play it a little bit. We gonna get into the gameplay controls and
Mm-hmm.
kind of how that all feels, but it was definitely interesting from my perspective. Playing some of the other games like Silk Song is a big what it just won Game of the Year. I'm pretty sure it
Yeah, yeah.
plays kind of similar. I've been noticing as far as the map layouts, and what would you say was your if you had to choose one stood out the most? Was it the controls? Was it the story, the music, or the graphics? Which one kind of like okay?
Man, you know what, bro? I'm gonna throw you a curveball, and it was really the map.
Uh,
The map following along with the map was so confusing, honestly,
hmm,
for like the first 2 hours I was playing because I don't know if it's because I'm not familiar with the genre
hmm,
or I'm just stupid. I don't know, but I had a real hard time navigating and getting familiar with the map and understanding. I still kind of honestly don't fully understand it, but now at least I can navigate it. So that was honestly the biggest surprise that I had loading this bad boy up.
yeah, no, absolutely. That I told you, man. That Silk Song, I
You
get lost
did.
in it. You like it's a 2D side scroll. How you get lost in that? You know what I'm saying? What you mean? Like, nah, it's avenues and creeks. I'm sure. So yeah, no, that you're right.
Bro, and see, but my biggest issue was at the beginning when I first like was trying to learn how to navigate it is you don't really know where you are on the map. You don't know what direction you're facing. So you essentially have to look at your person and then look at the map and say, okay, if I go right, I'm going this way. If I go left, and vice versa, and so forth and so on. So it took me a while to really process that.
Yeah.
And even now, I have to always check back on the map. It's like, okay, I'm right here on the square. So if I go right, I'm gonna go in that direction. So
Yeah.
uh
Need a
I mean, it's
hey
crazy.
mini map. Would need a mini map because
Yeah.
this
Bottom right corner, boy.
man something. Shoot.
Now,
But
how's the map on Silk Song or other 2D scrolls you played?
it's the same thing. And honestly, like and like I said, I've been checking in with your stream a little bit, and I think it's a little. I don't for so when you do you automatically get the map? Like you press pause and you have a map of where you've gone automatically.
Yes, you don't have to get the map from anybody or buy it from a vendor. You
Yeah.
automatically have that map, and when you get in that area, it now starts to show you that area on the map.
Okay, gotcha. And then we're watching this in the background. Is this like an early boss or what? What is this? Because this looks like a lengthy
You
fight.
know, now this is another thing, bro. I'm in this fight very underleveled. Because I don't really I don't know. It's a really hard to navigate the map and trying to put the squares together to see where you're going. I've
Mm,
just been wandering into areas, and some of the areas let me fight bosses. I have what I need to kind of push through the area and navigate fully through it. In some areas I can't. I honestly don't know if this is a story boss or if this is one of those type of bosses.
gotcha. Yeah, no, I get that same confusion. But going back to that, the comparison to Silk Song, yeah, man. And there you don't have a map unless you buy it. And you have to
Mm,
like randomly find it in the area because like there's different zones, you know, the green zone, the blue zone, you know, type of
mm-hmm,
deal. And you have to be in the blue zone to find a map to purchase
mm.
in it. So it's very unforgiving. And then like also like to GPS to see where you're at in the actual map, like you have to use one of your ability slots
To actually do that.
to see where exactly you are in the map. Otherwise, you just have a general map of the land, and you hope you got to memorize basically where you're at. But
See now that's too much, bro. Like, like I just feel like sometimes games they make things unnecessary. They artificially make things hard,
yeah,
and I think that's one of those ways where it's like, all right, bro, like, come on, man. Like,
yeah,
I get the just
nah,
make your mechanics hard, not necessarily how the hell I get around, man. That's stupid.
yeah, no, that definitely is some of the frustration I could say from that game and trying to clear it. But at the same time, that's what creates the multiple hours to beat the game. So here nor there.
Now, but that's artificial though, Bowers. Come on, man. That's
But
so artificial, man. That's so
yeah,
cheesy.
nah, I feel it. So moving on to like the visuals and the atmosphere, like what'd you think of the art style of this? Because this is not your traditional AAA title.
I think for now, okay, hold on. Let's start at the price point here first.
Okay, yeah,
So, as a $40 game, I do have expectations. Let me say that. But also in the same breath, I know that this is a 2D side scroller, so I can't really come in thinking that I'm about to get top notch graphics.
yeah.
So at the price point,
Nice
the,
little let's
the
go
graphics.
in there. You heard that in the back. Let's
Oh
go.
yeah, you already know.
Hey,
So hey, at the price point, I don't really it really didn't meet my expectations. But from a genre standpoint, I think it does come with really a different tone, a different look. It's like a
yeah.
cell.
How would you describe it? Like you said, it's like a what?
It's like a realistic pixelated look, almost like it's definitely pixelated,
Mm,
but it's details. Like you can see Kratos abs, you can see their like their muscular lines in their arms. So
gotcha.
it's like a pixelated realism, if that makes any sense.
No, I got you. So does this visual style like you're impressed by it? You're disappointed? Um,
Again, at $40,
yeah, yeah. You chilling? You chilling?
yeah, I'm not really impressed, but as taking it solely off of the genre,
Right.
I do think it looks good. Now
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw another curveball in there on you, and I'm gonna say as a PS5 game, I don't really have other 2D side scrollers to compare it to, but I expect it to look a little better being a PS5 game. Let me say that.
Yeah. No, I could understand that. So I
Yeah.
feel like with 2D side scrollers, like you're not being wild. Me personally, I'm not wild by like the visual. Now, don't get me wrong; they can have colors in there and what's it called, depth. But ultimately, for me, it comes down to like the gameplay, the controls. How does that feel?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and we got a long message here on this
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
chat.
the bots they're always in
Well,
the they
that's
stay in there.
send that one video, one message out. But what's it called? So yeah, visually I'm not expecting much, but gameplay wise, that's where the bread and butter is for me personally in these type of side scrollers. So did the controls come easy?
Oh man, so I do have, and this is something I'm gonna definitely talk about in my review, man. They I do like the controls. They're easy to jump in, they're easy to learn, they're easy to jump in and learn. They're easy to, they're fluid in combat in some areas. But it's one thing in particular that I don't like about the controls, and I don't know if it's because it's 2D, um, whatever, or low budget. I don't know,
Yeah.
but when you're jumping from wall to wall, like you climb and then you climb on the other side, you jump and climb on the other side. It's like a little delay in there,
Mm.
and that pisses me off. So you have to. I don't know why, but I just have to mention that the controls.
Yeah,
It really
no,
pisses me
that's
off
important. That's important because
because you do that a lot.
no, exactly. Like you, it's gotta be fluid. And
It has to be.
now let me ask you this. This is a little on the personal side as far as your system setup. Do you know for a fact, or are you uncertain about whether or not are you playing in 120 frames on your PS5, or are you playing at 60?
You know what, bro? I don't remember seeing a frame rate
Yeah,
option on there. I'm gonna have to check on that. I'm gonna have to check on that. I will have to check
it's
on
very specific, and honestly, it's a very niche. Unless you have a top tier, either you have to have a really top tier TV or monitor. Like
it. Mm-hmm.
it's very niche because you have a HDMI 2.1, and if you don't have that, you don't get 120. So 9 times out of 10, people aren't paying on 120 frames. And I bring that up because Silk Song, I play it on my Steam Deck, which gets 90 frames,
Okay.
and I play Silk Song on my PlayStation with only 60 frames, and I almost vomit at the controller with how it feels.
Mm.
And it's crazy going from 60 to 90 makes that difference. But oh my goodness,
30. Yeah,
in these games, it makes all the difference for that timing. And I definitely hear
I
you
can
with that
see that,
jumping because I feel like jumping has to be half the battle. Movement.
bro.
How big of a role is movement in this one?
It's really big, because what you're doing, you're avoiding text, like as you can see on the screen.
Yeah.
You have sometimes there are attacks that take up the whole screen almost, or half the screen. So you really have to move around. And one thing that I do want to comment on the controls that really irritates me, and it kind of it's a useless thing, when you're parrying and when you're doing other things, you have to hold R1. So for example, if you want to do a downward, foot stomp, if you want to enhance it, you have to hold R1. And it's one of those things where I feel like it's just an unnecessary way to overly complicate the controllers.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you parry, you can hit square and you do an attack. But if you're holding R1 and you parry, if you're holding R1 and you parry, then you do an enhanced attack. So it's like one of those things where
You're holding R1 all the time.
yeah, and in the heat of battle, it's just a little too much to be thinking about, man. You got people
Yeah.
doing things over here, things over here.
Yeah.
It might not be reacting as fast as you want it to, and then you're trying to hold R1. It's just like overcomplicating the controllers for me.
Hmm. So since we're speaking about controls, I can talk about one area that I saw thought was interesting, and maybe it seemed a little clunky just watching you play it, but I don't know if it's the
Mm-hmm.
truth. Um, it seems like you got skills in this game, like that you can swap through, like
Yes and no. Yes.
because in the top left of your screen, like I seen like you filtered through some sort of different
Mm-hmm.
skills or something another. And like I don't know, in these side scrollers or what, it just seems a little bit more difficult to have a plethora of skills. Because I know in Silk Song, it ain't no, it's just attack, jump. You know what I mean? Like you got attack and jump. You know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So what you're looking at me filter in the top left, those are projectiles, as well as environmental, like shifting navigation things. So
Mm-hmm.
right there, what you see with the little red leaf, that's the fire leaf, and you use that to burn thorns. thorns are going to be in your way when they don't want you to go they don't want you to go to this area unless you've done this yet. So it's one of those progression things, but the
Okay.
skills they actually have to be activated by holding L1 and then pressing square, and you get those on your weapons like the base of it or the spear of it or the middle. I think it's called like the brace, but that's where you put those.
Okay. And you kind of like that implementation, the skills. You feel like they're a good part of the game, makes it more
You
fun.
know, I probably haven't unlocked all of them, but what I will say is all three of the pieces of the spear, plus your shield, plus your belt, you have a lot of different passive skills as well as skills that you're going to activate on your own. So there is a nice variety in the skills that you are using and how you actually equip them, and how you want to kind of go about implementing them. So I do like it. Again, I'm not through with the game, so I need to see
Yeah.
what else they have in store.
Oh, exactly. Definitely keeping the mindset of first impressions. Only a couple hours in, not
Hmm.
concluded expectations, everything.
Yeah, I think
So
I'm only like 40% done with the campaign.
40%.
So
All right, well, that's better than I was thinking. Shoot, that's a good way. Cause man, I don't know. I'm ashamed to say what percentage of Silk Song I'm at with as many hours I got on that game. Um,
oh, so you haven't even beat the game yet?
it's getting frustrating with these games. I want them to make shorter games. I work full time, man. Like you know what I'm saying. Like let me get a game that's 8 to 16 hours and beat it. So I had that accomplishment on my back, man.
Oh
I
man,
can't get the accomplishment of beating games. Like
you
man,
running from the grind. You getting old and you running from the grind, brother.
yeah.
That's what's going
Because
on.
how many hours you feel like you need to put in the game to beat it? Like what do you think is
Now, what type of game? Like, what type of
a $40 game?
a game like this? I probably think I need probably like 30, 35, 40
Oh,
hours to beat it.
that's
Yeah,
respectable.
but like a game like a third person action game like Ghost of Yodi or something, I think I need to at least put 100 hours in to be able to be like, okay, I beat the campaign, I've explored, I found the collectibles, and I feel completed while when I put that game down.
100 hours.
Yeah,
That's something.
yeah,
So
man. Hey,
yeah,
I just like you said the other video, the ADHD is like I look at it like I gotta have an S tier build. I
yeah,
gotta see everything that they have to offer. I gotta play it on the hardest mode. So I be on things for like months.
yeah. No, an hour, 100 hours. That's a commitment for sure. So then,
Hmm.
moving on to this next category, engagement, fun factor. You lose track of time playing this, or
You know, I lose the time in frustration. So with the save system in the game, they have the little the little tent fireplace, whatever you want to call it,
mhm.
the campsite. That's what they call it. So you have that campsite, and you can't save. It's no auto save, so you can only save when you get to another campsite. But in order to get to another campsite, you're probably going through about 12 whatever little boxes, whatever you want to
Yeah,
call them on the
it's
map.
very
So
similar to Silk Song.
yeah, so if you die, you got to go back to that campsite and
Back
fight
to
it
the
all
camp.
back over again. Yeah. So when I be going back, I be like, damn, I need some more red orbs. So I might as well just kill everybody again. Then you do that for 15 minutes and you die again. And it's like, all
Mhm.
right, man. Like, so I do like the gameplay. I do. I don't want to sound like I don't like it. I do like it, but I think it's probably like part skill issue, and it's also part like just really not understanding the genre.
Yeah, nah, yeah. It's definitely a skill based game to sound like, which is always fun. Um,
Yeah,
so is there anything that makes you want to keep playing it, like keep jumping on?
I gotta finish it. I haven't started it now.
Just the completionist.
Yeah, I gotta finish it, and I have to get powerful enough for where I'm like, okay, everything else that I haven't collected so far, like these little niche things that I don't really care about. I don't I have to get to that point, but like I gotta finish it now, man. I done started now.
No, I hear you on that. So then those are my general questions I have for you. My last
Hmm.
question. Uh, but before I ask that, did you have any other thoughts on this game that you wanted to make note of?
You
First
know,
impressions.
I want to go on a little rant here real quick, Bowers. I do, and honestly, it's about the thing that I said at the beginning, man. It's
Yeah.
about activating my abilities and not being able to cancel them. I'm tired of games doing that.
Mm.
I should be if you put an ability in the game and I want to use that ability, I should not be punished because I use that ability and the computer attacks. I should be able to start that ability, cancel that ability, get out of danger, then reactivate that ability. Now, if you're draining some type of mana or with energy, drain whatever you need to drain. Just let me, bro, just let me cancel out of that attack.
Man.
So that's my biggest pet peeve, man. And the original God of Wars were like that, and I hate it so much when games do that.
Mm. Lock you
End of
in.
rant.
Yeah, lock you in to the mover ability. I know in Silksong, like when you go to heal, you gotta wait a second. You know, you can't do no inputs, just heal. You gotta make sure you're in a safe spot before you do it.
You
That's
know,
that's different than attacking though. Attacking is like you know, you on the offensive, so on the
it's
defensive
very
side,
important.
yeah. Because I'm pretty sure
Very
you heal
important.
kind of the same way in this game where you stand still for a while you heal.
Yeah, so in this game you press up on the D-pad and then you're standing there immobile, healing whatever. Now what again, you can cancel out of that though. You don't have to like keep doing it until it's until
Yeah.
your potion's empty.
Okay.
So that is a good thing, but I don't have an issue with the healing. I don't have an issue with the healing.
Yeah. It's just on that ability.
Bro, is so frustrating because one of the techniques that you get, you hold square to charge up an attack, but you really can only do that in situational instances because you can't just stand in front of your enemies and do that. It doesn't charge fast enough. So it's only situational, and I think that's very unfortunate because it's like, you know, you could have did something else in that area to make me feel powerful,
Yeah.
not holding down the button. So you know that's my rant on it, man. That's my biggest pet peeve with this game,
Yeah.
easily.
No, man, I hear you, man. That's you gotta be tactile and mobile. With these 2Ds, it's all about combat for me. Like visuals are out the window. Don't get me wrong, they can have some little glimpse and glamours there, but overall, it needs to be fluid combat. But yeah, I'd be curious.
Absolutely.
Look into that 120 frames because that can make or break your experience. Um, the story, I don't think we mentioned much about the story and the
Oh yeah.
characters. What's going on with the story so far? Are you engaged in it? I'll say not to like don't spoil too much, but what do you think
Mhm.
about the story so far?
So the story so far, I feel like Kratos is a little annoying in this story, to be honest with you.
Boy, he the boy now.
Man, he's so aggressive, and he like for his age and everybody else. Not everybody else. Let me not say that. But other characters in the game are a little more lighthearted, and they're kind of combating with his serious tone. So I will say that I love Kratos, but he kind of overdoes his duty a little bit in this game.
Hmm.
I do like his brother Deimos. He definitely brings a different vibe to the character. He shows a different side of Kratos that you don't see in the other games until you get to the Norse mythology when he's taking care of his son. So it's very, very interesting to see that side of him. And also, I mean, the main story plot, I really need to see how it wraps up.
Yeah,
I don't want to say it's stupid, but it's one of those things where I feel like they could have did something a little different.
because you're a
But
true God of War fan through and through,
mm-hmm,
and like
mm-hmm.
you would think that this would just complete the complete the saga for you essentially, and knowing exactly where things come from. Because is this the earliest stories of Kratos, as far as you're aware?
I want to say yes because I think the PSP games happened after this? This might that's actually a really good question. I'm gonna have to look that up. But this might be his earliest story. His earliest story. Yeah, yeah. Actually, you're right because they do it. It is a flashback. Like what we're playing, what you're seeing on the screen is a flashback. So I think in the flashback time, that's happening before everything happens in God of War 1. So yeah, I'll say this is the earliest iteration of Kratos. Yeah, yeah, good point. That's a good point.
So then you already mentioned one memorable character, his brother. Any other besides him? Because I know we heard this game's two player. Um, Besides the brother, is there any other characters
Man,
left?
I can't remember the guy's name, but he appears at the campsites. He
Okay,
starts appearing at the campsites through the story. I can't remember his name,
not
but
the
I
villain.
really like him.
Okay, okay. Little comic relief, maybe.
Nah, he just intense as hell. One time they was having a conversation and Kratos was like, "Yeah, something." And he was like, "Man, war is not about no judges. It's not about who's fair. If we got to go drop some bodies in the middle of the night, that's what it is." I was like, "Oh, okay, okay, this motherfucker says."
Man, you need that sometimes.
Yeah,
But
yeah. So I really like that character though, man. I really enjoy him every time I see him at the campsite. I know he about to drop some gems on us.
nah, that's cool. You gotta have somebody to, put the put the smile on the face because that's serious combat, boy. You gotta be locked
Yeah,
in. So this two-player co-op, it was this game just dropped on everybody. Nobody knew about this game building up, as far
this
as I'm
shot or
aware.
drop.
It was pretty much a shadow drop, if you will, on the state of play. Um, yeah, gave it to us right away, and it was two-player was on the advertisement, and I was looking on the internet. I'm technical, all about it. So I'm trying to find
Mm-hmm.
multiple ways because you can only play. You told me I was
I
about to
told
buy
you,
the
bro.
game. I was about to
I
buy
told you, bro.
it, and he said, "What'd you tell him, man?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm about to buy it. We can play online."
Hey, bro, local co-op,
That's it.
couch co-op.
Couch co-op only. That's I've
Yeah,
never. I don't even know when's the last time I heard of something like that. I don't.
you know,
Maybe it's servers or I don't really. I don't know.
again, bro. This is the thing. Games making things overly complicated when they don't have to be. There's no reason this game is co-op, and I can't. Even if it was one of those invite-only co-op games, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you got to be on a friends list to play with somebody.
Yeah.
These are the type of games that need that, man.
No, for real.
You know?
I think this experience would have been quite cool on the co-op, but local only.
Yeah.
But what's crazy is we went through all these little gizmos and tricks to figure out, okay, how can we play locally while still, living in different areas. I'm in Michigan, and AnitMeta over there in Texas, right? Still in Texas, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So,
H-Town, baby.
so we were trying to figure out, okay, can we play this game locally? Remote play, this, and that. None of that was working. Finally dawned on us that we can just use PlayStation Party.
Mm-hmm.
But then
Share play.
we ran into another roadblock.
Stupid.
You have to beat the game before you can even play two player.
Unnecessarily complicated, man.
When I tell you that's one of the worst business decisions, that was
Unnecessarily complicated, man.
man. Somebody on Reddit said it best.
Unnecessary.
They said, yeah, let me just beat this game and then play it through the second time with my wife." Like, bro, you experienced the whole thing already. Now you gonna
Yeah.
trail? Come on, let's do this. Like that ain't even a fun
Mm-hmm.
game anymore. You just kind of doing it just to show your friend. You ain't even playing it. Experiencing it for real. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the
And one more thing that they didn't take into account when they're making this type of game with that co-op aspect in mind online. This is a game that's aimed at younger audiences, like the
what makes you
10,
say that? What
15,
makes you say that?
but so with this game, they're looking to bring in a younger God of War audience, because I'm about to be 40. So, obviously they're still appealing to me with the Norse mythology and the remakes that they're about to do. But they also want to bring in people like my nephews, people like my son with this, 2D side scroller, not as graphically, mature type of game. So with that in mind, you need to allow them to create memories with their online friends.
Do
And
you
that's how they're going to come back and be like, man, I love God of War
you
in
can't
10
play this game
years.
online though.
That's a missed opportunity. That's what I'm saying. They're missing the opportunity making
Yeah.
this game for that younger audience to
So
be in 10
do you get
years
to
like
select
me.
the speaking of, do you get to select the difficulty on this game?
Oh, of course, yeah. Hardest mode.
Yeah, yeah,
We're
yeah.
not,
I know
we're
what you
not.
playing on, what you playing on. But I was
Yeah.
just had to make had to double
Come
check see
on,
if that was
man.
because sometimes some games don't even let you select the difficulty, and it's like, hey, you gotta figure it out. So like, not appealing to the younger crowd, maybe, but okay, with this one, you do get to select it.
So I feel like they're dipping in that suit, but they're also dipping out of that suit, and it's one of those things where you need to commit. Either you're going to try to create new fans of the series, or you're not going to try to create new fans of the series. So I think they dropped the ball on that one completely.
Gotcha. Well, what do you think will make the experience better?
Outside of the online co-op,
Yeah, being able
outside
to
of that,
play co-op first playthrough.
yeah, that too, and not being able to play co-op first play through an online co-op. I think one thing that I would definitely want to see improved is a using the triangle button. The triangle button is pretty, useless. Not useless, but you really don't use it for combat. So I would like to see another combo string on the triangle button, maybe like a square triangle square, a square triangle triangle, something like that to kind of mix up that variety in combat. And
Yeah.
I know something like that's probably not going to happen. That's like that's something they probably really have to patch in there. But if I really wanted to add something, that would be it.
Are you slowly gaining abilities in this game? Because I know in Silk Song, like you slowly gain more things. Like at first you can't even sprint, but now you can sprint, you can roll, and you can throw your weapon. So you slowly gain abilities. Like at first, it's pretty bare bones. Is that
Mm-hmm.
kind of what has felt like the progression in this?
Uh, I I want to say I would say no. I feel like as soon as I started exploring new areas, I started getting new abilities. So I would definitely say you are gaining them as you're playing. You're gaining new abilities. I never felt like I wasn't getting stronger.
Got you. So those are most of my questions here. Really, are you excited to keep playing? Are you like, or do you feel like you dreading this experience?
No, no, I'm excited to see it through. Like I said, I'm really excited to see the story through. I need to, I got to complete it at this point since I've started it, and I really want to see how everything, wraps up. Because now that you said that this is like the earliest iteration of Kratos in God of War, now I'm thinking about, now I'm kind of looking at it a little different. Like, okay, well, how did this lead to that,
Yeah.
and so forth and so on in the series. So that's something I'm definitely going to pay attention to and keep my eye on.
And then the last question is on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being amazing. This has been a great experience through and through, or one, being just horrible, couldn't recommend it to anybody. Where would you be as far as that?
You know, I think right now I'm having a really fun time with it, and I've played it and I want to finish the story because I do want to, get a little bit more backstory on Kratos because I do like that character. I do enjoy the combat. I enjoy the atmosphere of the game, the voice acting, and everything that comes along with it. So right now, my early impressions, I would give it a 6.5. Now, when I finish the game, see about the end game, see how the story concludes up, I think it can get to about a 7.5, maybe 8. But right now it's sitting at a solid 6.5, a solid 6.5.
No, for sure, man. Well, those are my questions, and I think we went through final thoughts. I think we was pretty thorough on what
Mm-hmm.
we thought of the game. Again, I have not played it, man. But I do want to announce to everybody, give him a tutorial. Zoe was adamant. He's like, give him a tutorial. Once we figure this out, give him a tutorial. Thankfully, if you're on PlayStation, I believe you have to have some sort of premium PlayStation membership. Uh,
Hmm.
if you're in a party chat, you can play with a visitor, so you can play essentially locally online. So again, you want to
You
go
have to
into a
complete the
party chat.
story mode though. Make
You
sure
got
you
it. Yeah.
mention that.
Yep. First, you got to beat the game, and then he can
First,
like.
you gotta beat the game.
At that point, you just give him the controller, let him play himself. You know what I'm saying?
You
Like,
know what
let
I'm
him work play
saying?
though.
Like, yeah, hand it off to your son or your
Are you?
nephew or something.
You know what I'm saying? Like, do you see that as a second playthrough? I mean, I feel like maybe to start it up, like the second
Ah
playthrough.
man, this type of game, I don't know if I'm gonna do a second playthrough. I think it's one of those. I beat it. I see the end game. I advance in the end game as much as I'm like, okay, I've seen enough, and I've had my fill. Long as I get the story as a God of War fan, that's low key all I need. Low
Yeah.
key, I think I'll be
Alrighty,
done
man.
with
Well,
that.
shoot, 40% done already in like a matter of a couple days. That's
Mm-hmm.
crazy. It's gonna be full game before you know it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, we'll be back with another one of these. Do you have any closing thoughts before we get up out of here?
The only thing I would definitely say is, just be on the lookout. I'm gonna have a review here probably in the next week or so once I finish up. So be on the lookout for that on the YouTube page. Me and Bowers, we may do another playthrough, maybe some time down the line. We maybe we do
Yeah.
a review playthrough. Maybe we do a review playthrough. We get the hype going for a little live playthrough or something. I don't know, but
Yeah.
yeah, other than that, nah, man, I'm enjoying myself in the game. If you guys see me streaming it, definitely pop in, say what's up, and yeah, that's it.
No, for sure. All right, man. We'll appreciate y'all. And yeah, we'll see y'all online next time.
All right, all right.
All right.